Hello there, on the internet. We're going to start. I am Jullian Garritz. I am chairman and founder of Garritz Advertising. We are a global agency dedicated to digital marketing, and well, we are getting into big data also. We prepared this presentation, so we start to get into these complex themes, topics, that is digital marketing and big data, both of them with a mystical aura around. Everybody needs them. A few know how they actually work. A lot of people tell that they are experts, but well, we're going to start looking into it, and then at the end of the presentation, you will have your own conclusions. So we are going to start taking a look to the general landscape, okay? Just a second. There you go. The general landscape. We are going to take a look to the United States internet population and the last changes in the last years, so we understand the amount of data involved in digital marketing. Therefore, we can better understand how big data is helping digital marketing. So right here we have population that is connected to the internet in the United States. So in a country of 350 million people, in 2015, we had 267 million, and for 2022, we are expecting 283. So it's still growing. Most of the population that is offline in the States, or whether it's old, or is very young, or is disabled, most of the population is online. No? It's not the case in some countries around the world, like in East Asia, in Africa, Eastern Europe, and also Latin America. Mexico is an exception. You have 75% penetration there, but countries like Ecuador or Bolivia, Nicaragua, they are around 40. So countries in Africa, they still have 20%, 25% penetration of internet. In Africa, cell phones are important. So banking with cell phones, not smartphones, is important in Africa because they are cheap. And I mean, by an SMS, you can pay your bills or you can deposit money. That's what they use in Africa. So the States is a very mature internet population, I would say. Then the mobile phones, and then we are going to be able to understand this revolution of mobile or mobility that changed data habits, retail habits, communications, etc. So we had 210 million mobile users in 2015. Right now we are around 250. That is almost 20% growth in 3-4 years, and we expect 274 million. So this is growing even faster than the internet penetration. Here you have the daily time spent in different devices, mobile versus desktop. And here you can see how mobile from 2010 to this year took over. And you guys remember, in 2010 we were not that much in the cell phone. We were more in the computer, checking email there. Maybe the BlackBerry guys, we were more into that, sending and blah, 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 but was not that long. Right now, it's 195 minutes per day against 40 average. So this is like 5 times time. And this is something to consider. Then social media. You can see from 2008 to 2017, it's 4 times greater. I still remember when I was in Universal Pictures, it's a client of ours, and they told me they were not interested in having a Facebook page for the studio because they said, quote, "Our brands are the movies." And I said, "And the world turning Ta 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 ta. Is that not important? I mean, I listen to that. I see the universals. Come on. Right now they have 8 million people in their, just in Mexico, in their Facebook, no? So Facebook was not important in 2008. I remember also in L'Oreal, they said, no, important websites for us, Televisa is important. And I was like, no, but the people are on Facebook. They don't care about Televisa anymore. Well, 10 years after, now you see 81% of the population of United States. This is not internet population, it's population of the United States. And then you see media investments here. Here you see the digital investment, okay, versus other, TV, print, directories, radio, and out of home. And you see 2015, internet was below the TV, 59 billion versus 68. And then in 2017, digital surpassed the TV, no? Even in 2016 for a couple of millions, but now it's 83 billion against 71 that happened the last year. So digital is way bigger than the TV right now. And it's because of the numbers I've just presented, you know? And you see the newspapers, they are struggling, 14 billion to 10 billion, ouch. And there is a big opportunity of big data there. And we'll talk about it. Then, number of digital buyers in the United States. And here we have a big growth also. We have 157 million in 2013. Right now we are around 200, 190. So this is gonna keep growing and growing and growing. And then we have here the amount of money. This is crazy. So online from 2016, 360 billion. And then this year, 461 billion. I think that's the size of the economy of Argentina or something like that. This is crazy. Mexico is around 1.5 trillion. So, and then this is the split on digital advertising in billions. So you can see that display is important and it's going to be keep growing, keep growing, keep growing. And search and classified, they are more steady. They're reaching the height. But display, there's a big opportunity to generate awareness. So big brands that I want to spend video and things, and big data is critical for that, for optimizing the outcomes. We'll see. And this is the percentage. So if you are investing money as a company, online and offline, you can see if you are on the benchmark, above, below. So you can see that the share is 40% of the total advertising is going to digital. And that is the biggest part, no? From 2018. 42%. That's a lot of money. And of course, getting that big amount of money makes digital marketing more expensive. 10 years ago, it was, I wouldn't say cheap, but it was accessible. Right now, being so much cluttered, so full of messages and information is very difficult to target. I have a good example. We have a client in Dallas, and they are a car dealership. So they sell used cars. And they are complaining that their cost per lead, a lead is a person that wants to buy a car. The cost to have a person walking in to buy a car has tripled in the last 2 years. And they are like, hey, your agency is not working correctly. And we were like, okay, let me take a look if that's true. And that's not true. We've been working correctly. We've been optimizing campaigns, finding new audiences, learning on the last audiences, connecting the funnel to understand. But what happens is that in the last 2 years, in the automobile industry, there are $7 billion more on advertising than 2 years ago. 7 billion. That's quite some money. And it's around 400% growth in the last year. So, of course, it's costing more and more. This is more competitive. So then analyzing results and planning, previewing the results is a critical part of digital marketing and big data. What do you want to achieve? What do you want to visualize? Because big data can cost you a lot of money. You can invest a lot of money in infrastructure, and then having a lot of information there or any kind of transactions or behaviors, and then to get information on that is not worthy, that is not useful. And at the end, you will say, oops, I should have planned what I want to see. So I would say planning, 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 planning. Because if you're going to spend 42% of your advertising money in digital, where, how to say, things don't happen as you think in digital. Things change very, very fast. New platforms emerge, new chatter, new hashtags, like bro, or like, okay, it's all the time changing. So what worked yesterday is not going to work tomorrow. So you have to analyze, you have to check, you have to trace, and then to make your conclusions. But first, you need to understand what you want to obtain. This is very important. Here we have the split of digital advertising from 2016 to 2020. You see display growing from 34 to 61 billion. Video is growing almost 100% from 10 billion to 19. Rich media, sponsorships, and then search is going to grow also. Lead generation, this is direct response. Classified, email marketing is going to grow. And mobile messaging is steady. Now, how effective are digital marketing activities according to marketeers around the world? Most of the people think that own website is critical. That is 92%. Search engine optimization, that means to position your website in Google organically. That is not paying to be on top, just to be relevant, so Google thinks you are relevant enough to be shown on top of others. And then search engine advertising, that means you are going to pay for the clicks. The newsletter, display advertising, retargeting, sponsoring, and own ads. And this was brought by Statista, and I am surprised that the marketeers didn't mention social media. It's interesting. Newsletter is still important, but not like it used to be. I don't know, we all were victims of spamming in the early 2000s, when you just received emails you didn't ask for. But right now, newslettering is critical. It's critical for loyalty, for upsell.
Really?
Also for, yeah.
Never thought people read.
For example, we have our own newsletter, no, as a company. Pedro is actually in charge of that. And we talk about trends, we talk about what we're doing, we show some graphs, and that's helping us to be an authority.
Is it short and sweet and easy to read?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's just, yeah, like
Usually with links.
Word, 4 or 5 news.
Yeah. So we, for example, what we do is just put like a little snippet of the articles we write, and well, if you're interested, then you
click and go to the blog.
And we put a lot of graphics also. There's a lot of design, because if you just send like a plain boring newsletter, well, nobody's going to read it.
Exactly. It must be engaging. And it's this clutter and all these things that, I mean, you are being knocked all over the place with things, and it's like, okay. But for example, I am a skier. I love to ski. It's actually my life. So I want to have newsletters of ski. I love to see Candide Tobex going down the Great Wall in China in skis. So yeah, talk to me about that. But don't send me please about the dog treats. I don't care about dog treats. It's like that. Or you are jogging, you know, and then you end your jog, and then you see, hey, come to McDonald's, have a nice Sunday. You know, it's like, come on, I'm jogging. I'm not that kind of.
I'm not going there.
This is the spam thing. So, okay, newsletter used to be spam, but if you have, as a part of your marketing strategy, a newsletter, it will help, of course, to be present. And also, whenever the need comes, people are going to are going to trigger faster. I mean, being an agency or a service is different. If you are a product, you send, I don't know, promotions or information on the product, or, I don't know, ecological things or what your company is doing. It's like having conversations. No? And the people are going to say no whenever they don't want it. And this is something of digital marketing. You can say no. Right now, you have the ad blockers. And the marketeers are crazy with ad blockers. You know what ad blocker is? They block your ads. Not in all platforms, but in the browser and in a couple of apps. And then what? How can I target people? You better be relevant to the people. So that's the first thing. If you are not relevant, well, maybe you should change your product or your audience.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to sell mink coats in Chiapas to the indigents, you are wrong. I'm sorry, you are not. You can spend billions of dollars in marketing. You are not going to sell one piece. So if you are not relevant, you are not going to sell. The market is not for you, and the market is going to tell you.
Yeah.
It's going to scream at you. No. So well, marketeers are using their website. This is interesting. So let's go to marketing in digital times. Marketing, I think that we all know about marketing. Marketing is about creating a product and then selling it. But what happens with digital when the digital world comes into place? So today, marketing is about data. Data about the product, the market, the media, and the consumer. It's data. It's nothing else. So it's bits, ones and zeros. Internet made it possible to connect with customers 24/7 worldwide and change the rules of communication. Remember when, I still remember in the 90s when we got a concert. I remember the In Excess concert. It was in the early 90s. And Michael Hutchins was there singing, and it was unreachable. It was really, truly unreachable. You couldn't reach those. They were stars. But what about today? You can chat with Bono. You can actually chat with Bono. You can tweet Michael Moore and he's going to answer you, or even Donald Trump. If you say the right thing, maybe he's going to bully you a bit. Maybe he's going to say, oh, this guy knows. Fake news. No? I mean, communication has changed, and the internet has brought that. So it's immediacy, facilitation of information is there all the time. So as a brand, that's an opportunity. And also, all interactions are data. Are you getting to my website? When? Where are you coming from? What did you click before? And then what you do in my website? Are you consuming images, video, text? Are you donating? Are you buying? Are you not?
Right.
And then you can reach them. Because as we were talking, Scott, earlier, you can put a cookie on the user as a first-party data, is your data, and then you follow him. If the user complies, you follow him, and then you can track information, where he's going, who's he visiting online. Even here, if he's got location services and you have the intelligence in your strategy to know that he's around, for example, a movie theater, you know that you can target people around a movie theater at a specific time to send a trailer as advertisement, and it's going to be shown only to those on that range, not to those outside. Or you can do it the other way around. So everything is data, and everything is accessible, and everything is global. So smartphones and social media have changed the way we interact and the way we buy. Isn't that true? My daughter, she's 13. Oh my God. When I was 13, I used to go out. Really, I used to go out and then to, I don't know, in Mexico, because of security issues, we were in the club, and then we were playing volleyball or football, or we went hanging out with the girls. But Lina, my daughter, she's producing video with her phone. Actually, she said the other day, she's using Musical.ly. Musical.ly is the new social media platform, because Facebook is not cool enough for young fellows, because the uncles and Mama and Papa are there. So Musically is about creating nice videos, editing the videos with music. So Lina uses 3 apps to edit her videos, and they are impressive. And she communicates. I mean, if you ground your child and you take away the phone, you take the social life away. You can't do that. That's a bad thing. So it's a very difficult balance as a parent to allow the usage of that, but also to limit the usage, because so we are in a complex moment. Maybe in 25 years, houses are going to be built like a video game, like Minecraft. So when my wife is like freaking out because Tilo, my son, is playing too much Minecraft, I tell my wife, no worries, because maybe he's going to be a big builder. Because that's going to be like that. Interfaces, hey, the planes, take a look to a plane. It's like it was in Flight Simulator, man. Right now, it's all computer. A car also. I rented an Audi once, and I couldn't turn it on. I couldn't get, where's the button to turn this on? So yeah, technology is everywhere, and it's changing our ways, okay? The way we communicate. So, of course, if Lina sees a banner, she's not going to be interested at all. But if she sees a banner once, and then second, and then in the feed of her Musically, she sees someone dancing and talking about that brand, and then she goes to the mall, and she sees an activation, and she comes closer, and then she's got a T-shirt. And that's the way you need to build today the things. That's storytelling.
And it's still mixed media.
And it's still mixed media, exactly. Exactly, absolutely. And media is not necessarily paid media.
Right.
You have the paid media, you have the earned media, and you have the owned media. So the owned is the website and my things. The earned is my Facebook, is what the people want. So yeah, being relevant is critical. And of course, brands like Adidas or like Nike, they are extremely cool, but when you talk about Garritz, the agency is like, oh, that's not that cool. So you need to narrow your audience. And then big data is there because Facebook's got a lot of data about their audience, and then you can analyze who's watching me, who's engaging with my content, why, when, what was the outcome, what was my planned outcome. And then you compare, and then you build a dashboard, and then you see outcomes versus planning, and then you make indexes, so you see how you're doing.
Your demographics change constantly.
Absolutely. I'm going to go to the example of Universal again. Universal is focused on moviegoers, that is people between 15 and 35. And I've been fighting with these guys. I am 43 right now, and I'm still a moviegoer. I'm still a moviegoer. I'm not just occasional. I think that they should think to put it to 40, because demographics are changing. I think that when my father was 40, he was older. In the 80s, the 40-year-old people were older. I remember. It's not because I am. I think it's like that.
I like that too.
40 today is like 20. You are, I don't know. Maybe it's, we are living longer. Maybe it's all this information. I don't know. Well, maybe I just feel young. Okay, so offline media, not like before. Today, offline media builds on the marketing funnel and sends the consumer online. If you watch the pay TV, what do you see as advertisement? Apps like Trivago, like hotels.com, all apps, because it's the same audience. The people with the mobile and the pay TV is the same. You also see travel, pharma a lot. Pharma all over the place. And then you see insurance,
Car dealers.
And then you see all these lawyers.
Lawyers, yeah.
Insurance.
And then the call to action is always a phone number, depending on the product, a phone number if it's a lawyer, so you call them, or a website. So they are pulling people to the website. And then they cookie the people, and then they cut them. So they harvest the audience with the pay TV, and then they put it into the digital funnel. And that didn't happen before. Before the TV, I remember in L'Oreal, in Mexico still, because we have a huge population with lower income and very uneducated. So TV is the only way to reach them, open TV. So they invest in open TV and they sell a lot. But there are other products like precisely sneakers and things like that, Adidas or Nike. They don't spend in open TV anymore. They don't. Pharma, they do a lot, a lot. Insurance, they do also.
Be able to advertise.
And insurance, they send people to the website. And then you get data also. He comes from the TV. And then, he bought me. And then you can reach out to him. Imagine what the technology allows you to do this. You run a campaign, okay? So the people see your ad. Those that see your ad and click it, you contact them and you ask them, why did you click my ad? And then you get information. And then you use this information to change the message or to improve the message. And then you will see if the click-through rate is higher or no. And then imagine you do 5 strategies with 5 messages. And then you do the surveys and then you see which are better than the other. And then you run 15 and then 30. And then it starts to be a big data approach. So you need technology to handle such a campaign. And then imagine, you have the people that clicked you, but you also can reach people that saw you but didn't click. And you do the same. And you ask them, hey, why didn't you click me? Oh man, who are you? And then the people that bought you. So you have this the funnel visualized in an interface where you are asking people, getting insights, fine-tuning your strategy. This is what digital marketing is allowing you.
It's interesting. I have a piece of paper that was printed in 1878, and it's about the process of making a sale, of selling something. And the only thing that's untimely about it is that the final line is very sexist. But what it is it talks about a man who sees a product, ignores it, then acknowledges it, then sees it again, and then the final step is he instructs his wife to go purchase it. That's the only part that isn't relevant today, but every other part of it is how many times somebody needs to see something before they acknowledge it's something they have to have.
Exactly, and precisely big data is helping you there because you can control frequency. As I was saying, impact, click, buying, also frequency. So if you've seen me 4 times, then I will ask you something. Have you noticed me already? And you can control that at a personal level, and that is big data. Big data means you handle data in a personal way, but also in a big way. So you can track one transaction, but you can also track all the transactions.
But where is the fine line there? Because I get bombarded. Unsubscribe. People that bombard me too much. So it's like there's really a fine line there. I feel.
Absolutely. You are upsetting the consumers.
Yeah.
It's an extremely thin line, and the ad blockers are a symptom of this problem. You have, in some age groups, 45% ad blocking. And then, listen to this statistic. This is 2016, the IAB, the Internet Advertising Bureau, they said that from all impressions in the US, 54 were fraud, which means 54% is fraud, which means robots, crawlers, down the below the fold, you name it, they were not seen. 54%. So imagine. So it's cluttered, and then. So right now in the advertising industry, in the big dollar advertising industry, there's a big concern on fraud. What they are doing, they are centralizing information, data, because data is critical.
So how do you find that fine line? Do you just go into a company and kind of see what they're doing and?
No, I think that's a by the book thing, and that's about a culture, enterprise culture. Some enterprises, they have this DNA of annoying the consumers. That's a DNA thing. For example, the banks. I pay my credit cards in time. Sometimes I pay the day after. Why? Because I was traveling, I don't know. But I pay always in time. But if I don't pay the day after, they start calling. That's harassment. And they call me every once in a while to offer me products. And I see that, yes. So I just hang up. I don't want that. That's DNA from Banamex. They think that's the way to sell. I don't think so. Some companies don't think so. So if a company that wants to harass the customers comes to me, I would recommend a different approach. But some products need to be squeezed to the consumer, like credits, like insurances. Sometimes, regrettably, they are like that. I had a client in Mexico. It was MediAccess. They were selling insurance. And they were doing some kind of fraud. They didn't, but the distributor was making phone calls and then subscribing people without the consent of the people. And then, okay, we go to the court and we see and we settle down. But in the meanwhile, they got the money, blah, 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 and the company was extremely perjudicada. Damaged, extremely damaged. In social media, MediAccess, we want to help you. You are thieves, blah, blah, blah. So these days, it's not that easy. If you are those kind of practices, social media, they are going to eat you.
They will burn
yeah.
you. They will burn you.
I know.
Yeah.
They will burn you.
Ratings and reviews.
So
Powerful stuff.
the thin line is, I think, to respect consumers' privacy. Right now in Europe, the General Data Protection Regulation is changing the game, because right now you can use third-party data. That is, that you use data from your competition. For example, there is a provider of data that has data on people that has bought online, and you buy those audiences. That's not going to be possible in Europe. If you want to target people that buys, you have to buy first audiences to go to your website, and then if they buy and if they consent, that's first-party data. But you cannot use that data to sell it to a third party. Because of that, because of data protection, because of the consumer. We, advertisers right now, we have to take care of the consumer more than ever. More than ever, because you lose like that. Like a bad post in Facebook, or a sensitive topic like religion, politics, it's no go.
Well, look at what happened with the airline. Yesterday, 2 days ago.
Yeah, no, all the time with the airlines. I was traveling with Martin from Dallas to Denver, right in United. When they had this problem, they were pulling a guy away.
Yeah.
And we were laughing, there in the plane. Yeah, you get that, and you have to take care.
I guess a lady who was formerly a flight attendant has an Instagram, and everybody emails her these weird things about flying. Crazy stuff. So I just found that out yesterday, which I find incredibly funny. So that's, again, social media.
Yeah, exactly. Social media amplifies.
Yeah.
Amplifies, no? Small things, make them big.
Yeah.
Like, this is a good example. It was, I think it was in America. This young fellow, he was bullied. And then he recorded a video. Why are you bothering me? Na, na, na. He was lovely, and everybody, Oprah tweet, and everybody said, poor guy. And then it came out that the father was in jail, and that was a white supremacist. And they ate the boy alive. No more support. Born them. So, social media is crazy.
Public is fickle.
So, consumers spend their time online to consider before buying. This is important. If you are a bad brand and you have a bad reputation, I've had that. That I don't know, I want to fly with United, and then I see a lot of posts that United is bad and is not respecting people. And this is going to change my decision. It's going to determine it, okay? So once the consumer allows us to, we can store data on their activities, so we can actually use that information to, as I said, improve communications, make media investment more efficient, understand consumer habits, and then improve service. And we're going to see a couple of, the text is, how you say, is
Double up.
yeah, doubled up. So improve communications, measure communications effectiveness, encompassing the whole marketing funnel. Is what I said, impression, click, buying, what the people are saying at the stage. Produce content online and measure engagement. Like you do a post on Facebook, and then you say something about strawberries, and then you say it about blueberries, and then you say it about raspberries, and you see which of the three are more engaging. And at the end, you will see that in Denver, the raspberry is the blast, but in New York City is the blueberry. And this insight is going to allow you to have your ad with a blueberry for the East Coast and a raspberry for the Midwest.
Find that out.
You ask your audience.
So survey?
There is a case, vitamin water from Pepsi. They created a flavor in 2008, and they asked their Facebook community, what should the name be? They asked,
Right.
and the community was like, blah, 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 blah. And you know, the name of it was Facebook Connect. And you can track it. It was a big marketing case in the 2008 or something like that. So yeah, you ask your audience. You make focus groups, or you just survey the people in the retail, depending on what you sell, you know?
I find that to get people to sign a survey, you have to give them something.
Absolutely, but you know, there are providers. We work with a company, it's a global company, it's called Cint. They have 40 million people on their panel.
How do you spell that?
It's Garritz. You go to Garritz and we have this service.
Okay.
So we have 40 million. In the States, we have around 2.5 million people. And these people, they agreed to be a part of this panel. So they provide information eagerly. And we have also patients. So we can conduct clinical trials. So if you need diabetics or you need chronic kidney disease patients, we have them in specific cities in the States. And so yeah, and this is not that kind of survey where people are gonna be answering like bang, 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 because they wanna go, because you just got them on the street. No, this is serious company, the biggest research company in the world. They are using Cint, is C-I-N-T, Cint. So GFK and Millward Brown, they use their technology. So they have the panel, and then you have a survey platform, and you get the data. And you put that data into the other data of your campaign. So you can start visualizing, you know, things. Then listen and participate in the social media conversation. This is extremely important, no? As a brand, you need to be talking, but beware of what you say. Sometimes you make mistakes as a brand, so also take it back. I was wrong. It's very important to accept that as a brand. Then make media investment more efficient. So analyze every format's outcome. What did I obtain from a specific outcome? And it's important to know what I want to obtain. I want to sell. Okay, you want to sell? You have an e-commerce? No. How do you want to sell? You're right. I need an e-commerce. I want to be hired as an architect. Okay, do you have a website? No, but I have a Facebook page. Okay, so we can work with that, with a Facebook page. But then it's going to be more difficult to get like the confidence that you are good. Why don't you build a website with some pictures of your work? So then, yes, and then you need a form so people can contact you, or your phone number, and then you get the phone. So knowing what you want to get. Then tag efficiently your marketing efforts and your audience. Tag means to track. So technology allows you to track everything. So every click, every impression you can tag. And then track your consumer through the sales funnel. As you said, in the late 80s or in the mid 80s, consumer sees the product, consumer goes out of the store, consumer comes back to the store, talks about a new product, buys. And then every case. And you put them together, and then you have big data. You have a lot of information. Understand consumer habits is also useful. So study your audience, we've said it. There are online accessible research tools. Use your web analytics platform. This is going to allow you to understand the habits of your audience on your website. And your social media reports. Facebook's got a lot of information about your likers, if they are young, old, where they are from, what are their likes, their interests, and all this information you can use and put into the data bucket. And then ask the consumer about your product. You will improve it. No? Hey, what do you like about my product? Nothing. Oops. Improve service. Use the power of data to improve your service. Technology will make it easier to follow up personally on each case, a CRM platform, you know? Survey your consumers' needs and train your personnel accordingly. So it's about getting data to put into your
Nice.
The marketing funnel. The marketing funnel starts with the product development, okay? We create a product. And then we define a target. Sometimes this is parallel. I want to build a product for kids. I am a pharmaceutical and the kid industry is growing, so let's make an aspirin that is special for kids. So you create a product thinking in an audience. But sometimes you get a product and then you try it, and you thought it was for kids, but at the end, it's the old guys that are using it, because I don't know. And then the comms planning. The comms planning process is extremely important, because there you will say how you are going to reach your audience, and where are you going to reach your audience, and with which message you are going to reach the audience, and why. And then the media planning. If you're going to buy, or if you're going to use other formats, then you make your marketing strategy, and then you buy, and then you sell, and then you analyze your ROI, your return on investment. And then you get insights on the whole process. And then you can make a better product development, better target definition, better comms planning, a better media planning, and buying, more sales, and more ROI analysis. So big data is allowing you in the whole marketing funnel to obtain data to put into the bucket. And it's like a martini. A good shaker is not only strong, it's also handsome and it's got style, and that's how you get the data visualization, you know? Some martinis need a special shake, some other need, you know, more in the right, more in the left hand, and that's how you do it with the data here. And at the end, you want to be able to watch for the whole marketing process, the specific data that is going to help you obtain what you wanted. If you wanted to sell and you didn't sell, okay, you need to check all these steps. You did something wrong there. Whether the product is not good because you are in IT trying to sell a gold bar, or you are selling dog treats to I don't know, to cats. Cats, they won't like that. Or your messages are wrong, or you did not plan properly the media. So improving there is important. Then we're going to see what the fish is big data. And these are a couple of definitions we put together. Big data refers to data sets that are too large or too complex for traditional data processing applications. And this is true. Big data means a lot of computing processing, but it also means an approach to data. So to make big data arrays handleable, accessible. So in order to harness big data, businesses rely on raw storage and processing power, as well as strong analytics capabilities and skills. I would say more the last than the first, because technology is always helping, but people are the ones that do the job. So if you have a very strong platform, but the people are not able to use it, so that's why we don't license properly that software. We just create tailor-made solutions. And then annual revenue for the global big data market, $33 billion US. So yeah, there's a big opportunity there. And it was estimated that mobile data traffic would reach 11 exabytes. So it's a lot of information. Internet of Things is also contributing to big data. That is to connect things to internet. So imagine a supermarket that knows automatically that it's running out of rice, and then sends a mail to the provider so rice comes in. Or in the auto industry also. They are using that a lot in the auto industry. to understand inventories and stuff, no? Then, what are your company's most significant challenges related to big data initiatives? And most of the people say maintaining data quality. There's a lot of trash coming in. And remember, trash in, trash out. So, your objectives. What do you want to obtain? And if you don't know, then study. Because if you don't know what you want to obtain, you won't get nothing that is useful. Collecting and managing vast amounts of data. That's difficult, yes, of course. Ensuring data security and privacy. Absolutely. This is a big issue. And in countries like Mexico or Latin America or Africa, East Asia, that's a big issue. Databases are being stolen. Ensuring good data governance and then other, no? Extracting valuable business insight from data, you see?
So are they hacking to get data?
They hack, yeah, or they just sell
Just
that.
buying. Yeah,
People are selling lists and shouldn't be.
Exactly.
exactly.
So here you have some providers, no? IBM, SAP, Oracle, Hewlett-Packard, Palantir, Splunk, Accenture, Dell, all big numbers, big names, sorry, also big numbers. And then big data users, Amazon, American Express, BDO, Capital One, General Electric, Netflix, Miniclip, Netflix Sound, Starbucks, T-Mobile. The telcos, they are handling a lot of information. So telcos can, imagine to put together the information on Facebook users and telcos. So a telco can access Facebook likes of their audience, and then to target in real time specific audiences to impact with the specific ads, like for Coca-Cola, a trailer, or I don't know. Imagine that there is a concert of J-Lo, and then you want to target people that are watching J-Lo videos. So they know that it's gonna, and then you want them to be around a specific geographic area. And the telcos, they have all this data. Together with Facebook, they can do such things. And then as a conclusion, because I wanted, of course, to give you some insights on big data and marketing, but as a conclusion, I brought these 3 ideas. Treat each acquisition as unique. This is very important. Big data allows you to see at that specific level. So connect, sorry for the typo, the TOLOS is connect tools efficiently to understand user behavior among the funnel. Let me give you an example. We are running out of time. I'm going to be fast. You have a campaign that sends some leads to your website. And from your website, you send these leads to your CRM. In this connection, if you don't do it properly, you're going to have leaks. You're going to lose some consumers, some data. So at the end, you will have 50 sales, and 5 of those, you are not going to be able to attribute efficiently where do these sales are coming from. So connecting all your dots in the funnel is critical. Then develop an index to attribute touch points. It means today it might work, tomorrow it might also, but it might not. And then the day after tomorrow as well. So you compare each day to the performance, and then you see if you have a graph going like this or a graph going like this. And then confirm your findings with user survey. Reach your audience, talk to them. So at the end, visualize your marketing efforts at a granular level and at a big data level. You will need, obviously, infrastructure if you are handling millions or billions of data. And if you don't, you can use a normal server. And as I said before, big data is more an approach to get insights from data that is difficult to read. That's, for me, a good definition of big data. Obviously, it can mean billions of data, but also hundreds of thousands. And I think that's going to be it.
Couple of questions.
Couple of questions.
Yeah, so we've got some questions from some of our people online here. Could you pass along some success stories for the product-based exports that for growing into a new country?
Okay. I would, is the product new in the country and they want to export it to this country?
Correct.
Well, I would go first to to do a survey. Like a success story about that, in particular, I cannot think of it. We are offering service to a financial client, and they are exporting financial services from Mexico to the US. It's a particular case, it's not that general, nonetheless, I'm going to mention it. What we did is to start surveying the market. So we understood how the interest rates were and how easy was it for Hispanic audiences in Texas to get a credit to buy a car. So after doing these studies, we understood that there was a possibility to offer credits with less paperwork, getting risk, but also getting a higher interest rate. So the outcome is these guys have been growing for the last 5 years. They started with one auto lot. Now they have 5, and they have been growing steadily, getting Hispanic credit users.
Okay, and then how would you say that that experience differs from country to country?
Okay, regarding
so
digital marketing.
Yeah, digital marketing.
Well, this is it differs country to country as culture differs country to country. For example, let's talk about English. The English in Australia is very different from English in the UK and in the States, in America. So they understand each other. Nonetheless, if you say boot in the States, this is going to mean something different than in the UK. So I think that digital marketing tactics change from country to country, but strategically they encompass the whole countries. Sometimes, in some countries, let's say like Latin America, they are more engaging audiences. So they are more noisy, they are more playful audiences, and the Northern Europeans, they are more quiet, they need more time to relate to others. So taking these cultural specifications into consideration is going to make a marketing campaign more successful. As I said earlier, the relevance of it. If you have a global campaign or a global product, you should adapt it, obviously, to each market. If you are going to talk to Chinese people, it's a different game than talking to Americans. And obviously, in America, it's not the same to talk to the Hispanic community than to talk to the African American community. So, yes, I think that there are differences, and obviously, the study, insights, is critical to any digital campaign.
That's all we have for online. Anybody, anybody in here?
Any question around? I would be happy to answer.
So back to growing to a new country, what if you have a product? How do you survey there with a product?
Yeah. Well, I would first reach their consulate of the country to gather some data on the specific industry. Let's say, for example, let's talk about Colorado and the CBD industry in particular. Mexico is getting the law right now straight, so you can buy CBD as a medical patient. So understanding the market through the consulate is going to be impossible because there are no information. There is no information on that.
Gray area.
Exactly, absolutely, because it's been illegal. But what you can do in the consulate is go to the illnesses or the conditions, the diseases. Sorry, the diseases. The diseases that require
disease.
Yeah, sorry.
The Department of Health. The Department of Health.
Exactly. So you get information. That information is public. So you might get, for example, epilepsy numbers in Mexico or all this disease information. So then you can get a grasp of how the market looks like.
Got it.
That's first. Then I would conduct a survey to understand which, because Mexico in particular, and other Latin American countries are very stratified. That is, that the lower classes are not hanging around with the higher classes, with the upper classes. And the upper classes think very, very differently than the lower classes. So you would like to understand if the upper, the lower, the mid class is going to buy your product. And then you conduct a survey of
So how do you get to those people in the country, though, the survey?
through one of these panels. So you just, for example, you get a sample of 1,000 people. This is going to cost you around $8 to $10 to reach one of them. So it's going to cost you $8,000 to $10. And then you're going to get answers that are going to statistically tell you insights. Of course, the design of the survey is going to be the difference between good answers or bad answers. So it's trash in, trash out. And that's going to give you some insights. And then I would start to run a media campaign to talk to these people. But in this media campaign, I wouldn't be buying a lot of media. I would be doing more engagement. I would be doing more consideration, because parents of kids that are needing CBD or patients in the need of CBD, they are considering. They are suffering a lot. They are online. They are checking options. So if you provide information, then they are going to consider you.
Yeah.
And that's the way to...
Getting to them.
Yeah.
It's just getting to them. So imagine, they are looking for the solution already. They are looking for that. The demand is there. So you just be there whenever they look for you. So then you need a blog in the language where you want to get, where you talk about your universe, semantic universe, not only the illness, but the solutions or the interests. And then you're going to start positioning in Google. So when someone looks for CBD or something, they see you. Or they see a Facebook page where the community of epileptic kid parents are, I don't know, sharing information, and then you get there, or you create such a platform. So I would say that paid media wouldn't be the best way to do it, because it's going to be extremely expensive.
I think LinkedIn is a fabulous tool too.
Absolutely.
I really do. I think it's more business savvy
Exactly.
than Facebook.
Yeah, no, and LinkedIn is going to help you get the physicians and the distributors, etc.
Professionals and demographic probably that I'm targeting.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay, we got time for one more question. Anybody?
I've had people tell me that Instagram is now taking over from Facebook. Is there any truth to that?
Yeah, I mean, Facebook is 2 billion people, so Facebook is for reach. It's very big. It's still useful. But Instagram has been growing. How many people are there? Around 700 million?
Yeah, I think it's around 700 million.
It's very big. It's double or more than Twitter. But what's happening with Instagram is Facebook is already cluttered. It's already too much. We all are sick of Facebook. So we are looking to our Instagram feeds because they are fresher, cleaner, and of course, younger audiences.
Depends on what you're selling too.
Yeah.
Of
If
course.
you're selling insurance, you're not going to use
No.
Instagram.
Well,
if you're selling jewelry, I would use Instagram.
Yeah, and
Exactly.
the way you use the ad formats in Instagram, it's much more integrated than in Facebook. Like if you're in Instagram, you're just scrolling, you might
notice.
You might see something that looks like an ad, but it might be your friend's picture, or it might be an ad. But you know, it's a little more natural, the integration there, than in Facebook or in Twitter or elsewhere. So that's the reason why Instagram is growing a little bit on that side, because of the way people don't feel bombarded.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Facebook is, and they are there about the dollars right now.
Yeah. And well, in the end, Instagram is part of Facebook, so yeah.
Yeah, they bought it.
Yeah.
They bought it. Mm-hmm.
All right, well, thank you so much, and we appreciate your time today. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank our audience.
Thank everybody. Thank you so much
Yeah,
for interest.
Thank you.
Any further questions, I'm going to be glad to answer them.
Great, thank you.